Thank you for joining me for Breaking Through the Barriers to Belonging, a learning experience designed to talk about why belonging is hard, to identify the tensions that make it difficult, and then to learn practical ways that we already have a sense for and new ways we could explore for how to break through those barriers and create an environment where we get access to those gifts and talents and perspectives and unique characteristics that make everyone somebody on a team. We started the training talking about belonging, this idea of somebodiness, that it is a human need that unlocks all of the things we look to accomplish in life that are extraordinary. Anything that we want to do that's more than the basics comes when we feel like we belong. So we centered belonging, and you took the Somebodiness snapshot. It's a short survey that starts just to tap in to what it's like to feel like you belong on your team. And we left that QR code open for you in your toolkit so that you can take it with your teams and have some conversations about what it feels like to be somebody right where you work. After we centered belonging, we went on to talk about what makes belonging hard. What makes it tough? And we talked about these 6 tensions that have been identified in human relationships. And as we got ready to talk, we talked about some of those warning signs, some of those things we just need to be aware of as we prepare to navigate the tensions. And first of all, we talked about comfort, that we've often mistaken comfort for safety. And it's the uncomfortable things oftentimes that bring us to growth. And when we avoid that discomfort, we find ourselves avoiding development, opportunities to get more information, to learn and to grow. The real talk about that was that when we feel discomfort in those situations where we're encountering difference, that can be a signal for us, but it doesn't have to be a stop sign. We went on to talk about the 6 tensions, those opposing forces that we need. We need things like openness and closeness. And so we talked about each of them. We started with autonomy and connection. And it's this idea of having the freedom to work well by ourselves, to build our own path, and at the same time, be connected with others in a healthy way. We talked about the tension of stability and change, this idea of adapting without losing our core. We talked about openness and closeness. Do people feel like they can share? And do they have an awareness of the things that maybe we keep to ourselves or the things that aren't necessarily helpful to share in that moment? We talked about competition and cooperation, that oftentimes in environments where we're after success, where we're trying to reach our goals, sometimes we get pulled to think only about those things that help us compete, and we forget about how we need to do it together. And the truth is that we need both, and that the magic lies, the real work lies in being okay in the tension, in the space between. Another tension we talked about was ideal and real, where we spend time dreaming about what's going on and we're focused on what could happen. And yet there's space at the same time to be honest about the realities we face. And then finally, number 6, inclusion and seclusion. We talked about people being able to feel like they're a part and yet at the same time be able to move to independence from time to time. Those 6 tensions are in the workplace, and we thought about real life situations. You hit the spinner and chose a number, and you talked about real life situations and real life tensions that we face every single day. We talked about ways to navigate those tensions, and you'll see those right there in your toolkit. Then you went on to do some quests, some case studies, where you explored real life scenarios at work where we battle these tensions, and you came up with ways and steps that you could move forward. You'll find those quests right there in your toolkit sheet. And then we talked about in each of the tensions some practical ways we could change the game today to create more belonging, to break through those barriers, and to navigate those tensions effectively. We closed our session together with an idea from Bill Manns, the CEO of Bronson Healthcare Group. And he was quoting a mentor of his who said, "Say what you know, Say what you don't know. Label accordingly. Examine fearlessly. And above all else, be a person for others. What a beautiful picture of what it means to break through the barriers to belonging, to be honest about our own perspectives, to be open to others, and to examine those tensions fearlessly, to be able to speak up and just name the tension so that we can change it. And above all else, make sure that as I'm doing my work, I do it in a way that helps you do yours well. What an opportunity we have to break through those barriers and create more belonging. We've provided the toolkit with all of the activities, the scenarios, the questions that are lifted up in the training, and we've given them to you for your use. Please use them freely. Share them with your team. Allow them to penetrate the meetings and conversations that often feel uncomfortable. Where those tensions are alive, you can help us navigate the flux and create more belonging right where you are. Thank you for joining us for the learning experience. Translators, mount up.